The terrible, 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 terrible history of this town was an absolute stain on Georgia, and undoubtedly one that they were very happy to bury underwater and hope that people would forget.
That is literally the plot to My Bloody
God.
Valentine.
The deputy tried to hold them off, but he didn't have much backup since the sheriff had gone home early, apparently unaware of this growing mob.
Wow.
This is outrageous.
Strong, able-bodied swimmers have suddenly gone missing or wind up dead on the shore. Christmas Day in 1964 is known as the deadliest day on Lake Lanier. 18 months later, a fisherman spotted a body in the water, and the scene was gruesome, to say the least. There has been endless accounts of people stating that they felt being pulled by their legs deeper into the water, and the man suddenly jumped in the water and started swimming aggressively towards them. There were people that were like tying people to buildings with chains, knowing that the flood was coming to kill them. Anyways, it was depressing.
Thanks
and
for
creepy.
bumming us out, as always.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coast Files, your podcast for ocean mysteries and true crime. I'm Chantel.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Megan, and I'm ready to get sad or curious or wherever this goes.
It's going to be a mix of everything. It's going to be great, and I think that I'm still hungover from 2 days ago, so we'll see what happens today.
We went to a Halloween pop-up bar, and I have been already once, and I will go one more time. And then there will be a reel, which I need to get that.
Yeah,
those
I hope
photos
you
from
guys
you.
took
Oh,
footage.
yeah.
I know
Oh,
you
yeah.
know you
We
did
took-
because you sent me drunk footage.
If
of
it's
the
good,
night.
that I can't answer, but it was taken. So
Yeah.
we're gonna show, and it's all over the States, especially. So maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah, it is.
Black Lagoon.
Do they have one in
and-
Chicago?
Oh, I
think?
could probably go.
Yes.
I should.
Yes.
I should try to go this week.
No,
Yeah.
you no, it's not that you should. You will.
Black Lagoon
Please.
pop up.
It's
Look
somewhere.
up like Black Lagoon pop up, and then they tell you like where they are, their venues.
Oh my gosh, I already want to go because of this cocktail.
There it is, Chicago, the Albion Manor.
The Albion Manor.
That sounds cool.
Why?
Or just called the Walrus, which is more on brand for the podcast. Actually,
I even
so is
took a
the
little
Albion
photo
Manor.
of like
Okay, if it's not far
lobster.
from me, I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah,
Let's see. It's not that far. I should really
'Kay.
go.
you're
Okay.
going.
Okay,
And
you're going,
just
yeah.
just go for
That's
one
happening.
drink. Don't have all of them like we did.
Yeah, no, that was like
However,
that.
we did
Although-
meet Paige, the burlesque dancer.
Yes, she was amazing.
Okay. Maybe I can try
Um,
to make one of my coworkers just go with me on the way home.
Yeah, so like
Um,
our plan was like, well, the World Series starts tonight, so like we'll be home and watching the World Series from our pajamas at home from the comfort of our couches. And then we're like, oh, the game started. We might as well just stay for a little bit. And then we started talking to the
Just
burlesque
whole
dancer
time,
afterwards.
but the game
and-
started. I had been there for 4 hours. We had been there for 3.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
guys. Their
What?
glassware is on sale and they have a
Oh, I
zombie
know.
mermaid
yeah,
glass.
I know.
We can't even talk
know.
about it. We can't.
Oh,
because
You didn't
we
buy
don't-
it? That's like you two combined into one
I
cup.
know.
It is, yeah, I know.
Lindsay,
Then
we've
there's
already
like
talked
the
about
stuff
the amount of
from
mugs we
last year
have
that's on
and-
sale as well. They have like an Ursula one, basically.
Oh my gosh. Maybe
And they have like their old mermaid one, which isn't as fun as the new one.
this suits our podcast too.
I know.
Oh my God.
We got lots of footage of the fish one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The angler, right? It's an anglerfish.
I kind of looks like it. I'm not
made out of
sure,
cement.
but- Yeah, pure cement. Anyways,
So you will get that at some point, hopefully before this
comes
You
out.
would have seen this
Yeah.
reel because it's super fun to do reels now and like do
Yeah.
videos. I love doing that. So just gotta get all the crap together and you'll see it. And just go with more people so you don't have to have one drink to yourself. You can share a bunch. Chantel and I were like,
Yeah.
let's get one each. And then we got a drink for free. And then we did a bunch of shots. And then before you know it, it was close to 11. And I was
and
like,
those
I've
shots
got
are
to
like
go.
stronger than you think they're gonna be because they're like mixed with
Mm.
juices and stuff. But it was still like mostly
Oh,
shot.
yeah.
Like
So my work did Ghost Ship as our Halloween party
yeah.
theme, which
God,
I
it's such a good
loved.
movie.
Uh,
Scene,
yes.
rather. It's a good scene.
Yeah. Now we had, they made a haunted house out of a conference room, which was actually quite impressive that they
That
did
in
this,
itself
but,
yeah.
is scary.
they did a pretty good job.
work.
And then before they entered,
Synergy.
they were like, "Would you like a shot?" And I stupidly took one. It was just like rum only. I'm like,
Oh.
I thought this was gonna be a fun like.
Of course it is. Go ship. Pirates.
Yeah,
Rum.
yeah.
I was like,
Well,
what do you mean?
they offered me non-alcoholic or the alcoholic one, and I just happened to go with the one that was just pure rum. I thought it was going to be like a mixture, I thought it was going
Got
to
you.
be like, rum and
Well, if you're
Coke
gonna
or
say,
something.
hey,
I don't
we
know.
have shots, I think that it's implied that it's like there's some thought, not just like I've poured
That's
rum
when
into a small
exactly.
cup.
Yeah.
This was just pure rum. I think I'm like, you tricked me. I thought this was
We're not in
gonna
our
be
20s. We can
I
buy
know.
like little
my-
mix-ins to make it a little more palatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And it doesn't have to be like all juice either. You can make it like, like rum and like, I don't know, coconut water. Make it a little,
Ooh.
There you
like
go. They did have
something.
one that was more mixed. I guess I just took the wrong one. But
Well, they're like, well, it's just from Nova
they were like,
Scotia,
this one's
so.
for Lindsay.
yes. But yeah, it was cute that they did that, and we had some drinks
Yeah.
after, and yeah.
I feel like my work's gonna do nothing, so I'm making my own fun.
Actually, so on the 31st, the section of my work that I'm working in, we're all doing like a Halloween kind of potluck where we're going to bring in like different treats
Treats
and
and
we're
stuff.
allowed to
Ooh,
dress
that's
up
good.
for work, which is nice.
Okay.
Obviously, as a nurse, I can't go too crazy with the dress up, like maybe just some face paint or something like
You
that.
can't go as like the
Yeah.
Chantel nurse.
Yeah, you
no,
should.
unfortunately, I should, but I
Yeah.
don't know how well I would see. Like, let me take these sutures out for you. Probably not a great idea. And then I also went to Martino Manor. We went to Martino Manor last week,
Oh,
which was
yeah.
good. It was
Can
so
you make
good.
a reel of that?
No, because you can't get any footage because
Oh.
you're not allowed to use your cameras inside.
That's right.
Right.
Oh,
But it was
okay.
good. The decorations were amazing. And it's such like a tight space. And what I loved about it is that, because I've been to the ROM a couple times, which first year I went really great. And then a girl at work, actually, she used to, well, she still does. She does like acrobats and stuff. And she used to
That's
work for
cool.
them, like doing like
Okay.
the hoops, like that kind of
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she told me that they changed owners who are running this thing, which is probably why it's not as good as it used to be.
Oh.
Anyways, so I really like because they space you out. So it's literally, even though there were 6 of us, the girl at the front was like, you should go 3 people max. So we went 2, 2, and 2s because we were all couples. And I loved that because you're spaced out far enough from the people in front of you that you don't know what's going to happen. And then there's like no one kind of like coming up your rear either.
Mm.
Although I went first and I probably should have went last in the group because I was the person that screamed constantly. So
That was so brave that you went first. Like,
the people our friends behind us were like, we knew something was going to be coming up because we could hear you screaming. And I'm like, yeah, sorry guys. Anyways, but it was really good. I really liked it. The decorations and everything, like it was
Yeah.
just it's really well done and really well thought out. I think they've been doing it since like 2015 or something like that. So
So they know
Okay.
what they're doing.
yeah, they do.
Okay, and
So,
that's
like-
my next Halloween list. This Halloween
Yeah.
just came up so fast. As
Oh
we
my
we
God.
record, it's this weekend. But in
Mhm.
reality, when you're
Mhm.
listening to this, it's already past, and I don't really
Yeah.
want
it's
to like,
November or
God.
something. We're at like a holiday
Ugh.
decoration.
Listen,
time.
tell me if I'm crazy. When you think about, I mean, I know that I am, but I mean in this context. If you think about the month of November, does it give you like Scotland vibes? Like it's still spooky,
It
but
does
it's like,
for me, but
yeah, but it's still
I
like
don't know
dark.
if that was.
I
No,
I
it just
think
gives
how
me leaves. I just want to
Yeah.
put like dead leaves everywhere. Like not
is
dead,
that is that not
orange.
Scotland? Fog, old
Yeah.
stone.
Literally every
guess.
Instagram clip I get of Scotland, which I save because we're gonna go there in a
Yes.
few years.
Is this
That's
vibe?
that vibe? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just
So-
going to hold on to that and think that October is like the fun 90s bright Halloween and like slasher. And then the November month is like the dreary ghost manor chains energy.
I like that. Right.
Thank you, Lindsay. I
And we
like
can-
that too.
And then December we can go full color.
Ghosts
again
of
and-
Christmas past. But I do
Yes.
love Christmas.
Yeah. That's
Nightmare
yeah,
Before
is fine.
Christmas is a Christmas movie.
Really, I should have
I'm
already
just gonna-
watched it. I haven't got to it yet. Like,
Yeah, I
God,
haven't
this,
watched
this
enough.
month.
Although there's
Oh.
this little coffee shop down the street that's going to be doing Nightmare on, I'm not going to say
Oh.
my street name, but like they're
Yes.
So they instead
John
of Nightmare
Street.
on Elm Street, yeah. So they're
Okay.
doing like it's $12 to go in, and this cafe is really nice. It has like couches everywhere and like comfy chairs, and like they're gonna just show Nightmare on Elm Street. I
Is
guess.
this the one that we walked past going to the dinner that time? And Vadim was like, or you said, I like this place. I
Did we
can't
walk
recall.
past it? There's like
Either way.
one big one, and then there's where they used to be is now where this coffee shop is. So it's a little bit smaller, but it still has like the
Okay.
same kind of vibe. So it might have been.
Take photos or little videos, and I mean reels.
Yeah, content.
Yes, content, because that $1 million
Speaking-
is around the corner.
Yes,
Speaking of
it is.
content, this is why we're all
Speaking
here.
of content, this is why we're
Yes.
here. I did want to do a little butt plug first. So, I saw recently that they have finally approved the next steps for the sanctuary in Nova Scotia, which is probably being a little bit pushed now since all this shit's happening in Marineland with the belugas, and they're like, we're going to euthanize them. Like, I have so much to say about these laws that have been put in place in Canada with no real like thought of what to do. But anyways, they finally approved the sanctuary. It's going to be on it's like on the eastern shore, in Wine Harbor, just kind of near Sherbrooke
Oh, okay.
is where it's going to be. Yeah.
I wish I was in
And
Sherbrooke now.
I wish I were. So they are hoping to have this completed by summer of 2026, but like we know how things go with getting
Well, I
money and
usually go every
construction and all
summer,
that
so
stuff.
I'll keep you guys posted. I'll go there.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it'd be
Boots on the
they're
ground.
planning on doing like the
Exactly.
sanctuary there, and it'd be so nice because then like the belugas can go and like feel the tides and the changing weather and
And
all
then
of that.
go
So
to the
Yeah.
spa.
I think the plan
and get
is to
their
have these
skin
belugas go
off or whatever
there
they
if they
did.
don't go anywhere else
Mm.
beforehand. So
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
This is all
amazing.
good news. I know that
Yeah.
things
Are
take
you
a
trying to
long
give us good
time
news before you give us a downer? Is that
Yeah.
what's happening? Okay.
And also remind people that if they haven't listened to last week why that's important.
Oh, I'm getting it. Don't worry. I already did all that. Okay. So,
I'm just excited. Top of it.
anybody who listened last week knows what's coming
Which,
because I
thank you.
alluded to it.
Yes,
And
thank you for the
listening.
download.
Anybody who is joining us today, welcome. And we're going to go and talk about the history of Lake Lanier. So, I'm just going to do a quick, brief recap of
Yep.
what I covered last week. Very brief. So Lake Sydney Lanier is a massive man-made lake that was created from the damming up of the Chattahoochee River and the completion of the Beaufort Dam in 1956. And this dam was created to provide a water source for the Atlanta area because as it was growing with more people, they realized we don't really have a water source for us, so we need to get it to help power homes for water and to prevent flooding of the Chattahoochee River as well. So it's massive. It's 59 square miles or 150 kilometers squared, and it covers 692 miles of shoreline, so 1,114 kilometers. And it reaches a max depth of 156 feet or 48 meters or 6 3/4 shacks.
Thank
I
you.
was gonna
God.
say, like, and
It's not really
And-
that deep. It's just over the maximum recreational diving depth, actually.
it
at the
actually does in
deepest.
this case make it a lot easier to comprehend measuring in shacks.
Yes, yes.
does.
When it's a lower number, it does actually help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that first photo that you guys have there is just, I didn't want to do another, like the last time I showed you guys kind of the outline of the whole lake. So this is actually Margaritaville, the one that I talked about before where there was that boating
Girls
accident.
trip.
But so I guess
I'm
some of the areas there,
drinking
they
one right
have-
now.
Yeah, there you go.
You
Yeah. You're very on brand.
She's halfway there already.
Yeah. So they have some places obviously where they go and there's lots of areas for the boating and everything like that. But then this was a they have like little, what is that? I don't know. They have like
So,
slides and like
I can tell
like
you.
a water
Okay.
park. That's what I was
So
trying to do.
it obviously, I mean, so if you've seen a photo of this area, it's 1,000 little like inlets, and it looks like it there's well, I mean, you mentioned the amount of shoreline. This almost looks like not an island. It looks like an island, honestly, with a nice
Yeah.
beach area.
But it's probably just an area that a little pokes out
Yes,
from
a little
it.
inlet,
Mhm.
and there's 3 large floating docks. Then there's a bunch of
Mhm.
boats that are backed into. I'm imagining there's more together, but it looks kind of like a
Yeah,
party
it's-
central. I mean,
Yeah.
Margaritaville makes sense, and it
Makes
looks like
sense.
there's probably stuff for kids. I do see water slides.
There is one area that has like a full on water park.
Oh
that
my
you can
gosh,
go
yes.
to
And then there is
Mm.
one of those an inflatable water park obstacle course thing. See the green and
Mhm.
yellow.
Yeah.
So it looks like a fun like family-based resort kind of barbecue, fun camping.
Yeah.
So it looks
Yeah.
fun.
It
I
is.
know,
So I'm
I-
sure
I,
it's-
I would want to go.
Did it get
There's
worse?
beach,
Yeah,
there's-
exactly.
For
I'm sure
now.
your kids would want to go too. So
Yeah. Well, there's a
Just-
lot of
Um,
boats in the water, and I wonder about like the water quality with the amount of,
fair with like all the
Boating.
oil, like the gas
But
and stuff like
yes,
that that's being
yes.
used. Yeah. Yeah.
See, now
I
I'm
don't
not
really
as
know enough
interested.
about boats to
Sorry.
be able to tell you how much leaks As long as nobody's got a toilet on their boat that they're letting out there too.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
But I don't think
please.
that's how. I think no. Listen, there's a spot you can go. It's literally called the pump out, and like you're in a camper and you pump out the
yeah.
the stuff. I
Okay.
don't think you just
Yeah.
dump it in the ocean. Like you
No, you're
shouldn't.
not legally allowed to, but
Well, people
people aren't
probably
legally
do.
allowed to throw shit in the ocean either. And look at it.
And yet,
So,
Mm.
anyways, the construction of this lake, it all started around 1950 or like 1947 when the U.S. Army Corps started to acquire 50,000 acres of land for the construction. This included parts of Forsyth, Hall, Dawson, and Gwinnett counties, and numerous other small rural settlements and parts of larger towns were all eventually flooded for this lake.
creepy.
And most notably was Oscarville, which I touched on briefly last week. And the terrible, 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 terrible history of this town was an absolute stain on Georgia and undoubtedly one that they were very happy to bury underwater and hope that people would forget.
That's so.
But we don't.
No.
It's just so fucked up. Like humans. What?
It's-
Anyway, go on.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Okay. So Oscarville was first established around 1860s during the post-war construction, the era that followed the Civil War. And not all the residents in Oscarville were Black. However, the majority were. And they were formerly enslaved people who had earned their freedom from fighting in the Civil War. Oscarville was a prosperous
You're okay. Listen, you can do this.
agricultural area, and the residents were able to achieve higher economic growth there than most other Black communities at the time. So there were about 1,100 residents, 58 owned land, 109 rented farms, and more worked as craftsmen in nearby towns. That came straight from Wikipedia. Tensions were high in the area, though, after Atlanta. There was 1906 race riots that occurred. So tensions started to get high around that time. Which, did you know that those occurred because a local newspaper printed unsubstantiated reports of an alleged 4 rapes on white women in the area? And they were like, we have no proof, we have no nothing, but we're just going to print this. And people got mad. Anyways,
Wow.
But not for the reason that you think.
Oh my
that's not today's story, but this did in fact lead us to what happened in 1912 in Oscarville. So
Wait, what else happened
that's-
in 1912?
Every time I hear like false claim, I always think of like Emmett Till's story, and that just
this is
brings
right
me-
on par with this. So
Okay.
the facts of the following information are difficult to verify because of a lack of available archived records, but
Also,
it's
they were probably
not
all
hard
lies, but
to
anyway.
believe with the times what happened. So on September 5th in 1912, Ellen Grice, a 22-year-old white woman, claimed that 2 Black men were in her room while she was sleeping, and she awoke to one in a bed beside her. She said they were only scared off once her mother came into her room, and 5 Black men were later arrested from Oscarville by the Forsyth County Sheriff. So Oscarville's part of Forsyth
But
County.
5 people
5
are
were arrested for
Okay.
2. Yes.
for two.
Okay.
Local Black preacher Grant Smith pleaded to the sheriff to release them as there was no definitive evidence to link the 5 men. And he also stated that he had heard that Grice was actually in a secret relationship with a Black man, and many have reported the crime. She was caught with men in her bed. Sorry, many have reported the crime when she was caught with men in her bed. And this was something known as the old threadbare lie. So basically, white women were in relationships with Black men. They would get caught and they'd be like, no, this is against my will.
Oh.
And
That is literally the plot to My
my
Bloody
God.
Valentine. Sorry.
I don't remember that.
Do you remember? Remember how at the school dance, Jeremy is asking to dance with all the girls, and they're just like, "Ew, Jeremy, you're crazy. Get out of here." And then he dances with the one girl, and they're kissing, and then she's like, "No, he attacked me," and then that puts him on a murderous spree. Anyway,
Yeah. Well, anyways, so the local white community was enraged by his accusation, by him saying that no, she was actually in a relationship, and a mob surrounded Smith and beat him almost to death on
Holy
the court
shit.
steps.
Oh my God.
He did survive. But almost just over a week later, on September 13th in 1912, I think those 5 men were eventually released. I can't remember fully.
were any of them originally linked to the woman? Like, remember you said
No,
one...
the men ran away. They had nothing to link
Yeah.
to who it
Oh,
actually
Jesus
was. They had
Christ, okay.
nothing.
They're just probably
They had
like in the
nothing except
area or
for-
something.
That's okay.
We're
I get.
gonna
I'm
get
not,
into
I'm
why
not
this
surprised.
would happen. So September 13th, 1912, a white woman named May Crow was found in the woods outside of Oscarville. She was from a nearby community and it had appeared that I think she was either 18 or 19. I couldn't find out exactly. She had been bludgeoned over the head with a rock and was found half undressed and covered by leaves. So something literally happened to this woman.
So
She was
young.
breathing but unresponsive at the time when she was found, and she died 2 weeks later after falling into a coma.
That's
As there were no witnesses to the attack, it was unlikely that a culprit would have been found. But at this time, it was commonplace that after any violent attack against white women, they would search nearby black communities for a perpetrator.
So
Even
white
though,
men are
as we
just
know
like
today, the call is normally coming from inside the house.
right.
But, yeah.
So white men love this who are bad.
Yes, they could get away with anything.
Exactly.
So near Crow's body, there was a pocket mirror was reportedly found, which was alleged to belong to a minor. His name was Ernest Knox, and he was 16 years old. He was arrested and coerced into a confession. The white people in the surrounding communities came unrestful due to these back-to-back events, and Knox actually had to be secretly moved to, I read in one place, he was secretly moved to a church to be held until trial. And another place said that he was just put into another jail in another county until his
Otherwise,
trial.
mobs would come.
Because they wanted to make sure that he was going to still be alive for his trial date.
Oh my God, fucking ridiculous.
4 other black men were arrested as accomplices. Sorry, not men. 4 other black people were arrested as accomplices. So Knox's cousin, Oscar Daniel, he was age 18. Oscar Daniel's sister, Jane Daniel, age 22. Jane Daniel's husband, Rob Edwards, age 24. And another resident named Ed Collins, whose age I did not find out. One night, a mob of 2,000 white vigilantes had surrounded the courthouse that was housing the accomplices, and the deputy tried to hold them off, but he didn't have much backup since the sheriff had gone home early, apparently unaware of this growing mob. So it was
more
just
like
him
turning a
and
blind eye.
2,000 people.
2,000 people. Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm going to spare the details here because it was really brutal what happened. But eventually Rob Edwards was murdered by this mob, and his body was put on display by the mob, and more things happened to him as well.
Fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh.
When the trial finally happened, a jury of all white men found Oscar Daniel and Ernest Knox guilty in one day of trial.
Shocker.
Shocking.
I'm sure they deliberated.
Oh, for sure.
I used
for probably
quotes.
5 minutes. And they were sentenced to death by hanging, which was actually fucking illegal at the time under state law.
Cool.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So somehow the judge got around this, and they were allowed to hang the men, but behind a blind so that it couldn't be a public hanging. Only the night before the execution, the blind was conveniently burned down by arson. And it was estimated that 8,000 people came to watch this hanging.
Ew,
8,000 people are
fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
I know
Disgustingly, a piece of the rope was actually kept in court files until a civil rights protest in 1987 occurred, and that was where the rope conveniently went missing. And this was the largest civil rights demonstration since Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral in 1968, and it had more than 20,000 people marchers involved.
Wow.
This is outrageous.
And just like as another note as well, I also read that the judge who was the head of the trial for Daniel and Knox, he was later at the forefront of a mob during a 1915 lynching of Leo Frank, who was a Jewish American man who was wrongly convicted of a murder of 13-year-old girl and was stolen from prison and lynched by the said mob. So
I thought you were going to say it was like a
my
Grand
God.
Dragon at the KKK, but
it's
this
kind of
also
essentially
checks out. Yeah.
Yeah. So no one actually cares about women being raped and murdered. They just want to have an excuse to put certain people away or kill them.
Because the men didn't have a chance in hell. They did not have a chance
They
in
also
hell.
hate women, but anything they can do to just blame a black person, they're like, oh
Right,
my
that's what I mean.
God.
It's like a false care of a woman.
100%.
Obviously, these people are suffering.
What do they call it? Is that like a red herring? Is it where it's like we're going to use this to
scapegoat probably.
Yeah. A red herring. Well,
it's
a red
more
herring
like you
is
throw
like
something
we're
in the
going
mix
to
just to
distract
throw you
you.
off of the real problem.
So after May Crow's funeral, a group of white individuals calling themselves Night Riders would carry out attacks on people of the land of Oscarville, terrorizing the small town. They were throwing fire bombs at local churches.
Oh my God.
Which the local church at the time of these small communities were normally like a hub for them. So this was obviously very devastating. Over several months of these attacks, many residents died, and approximately 98% of the black community left Oscarville. And like the Forsyth County altogether, the Forsyth County became predominantly white after this. Many of the thriving farmers and landowners were forced to sell their land at a huge loss, and any land that was left behind because the families literally had to flee for their safety. White residents took advantage of something called the adverse possession law that was in place, which was a law that was put there for abandoned land to be taken possession of without the need to pay anyone for it or like figure out who owned it. It was to make sure that like lands that had been abandoned a long time ago could still be used for farming and stuff like that. But like obviously it was being taken advantage of.
It's so fucked up.
Point. Yeah. I did
no chance of having generational wealth.
No, not at all. So over the next few decades, the land was sold off time and time again and eventually sold to the government when the need for water in the surrounding areas grew, which led us to Lake Lanier. I did read that I think it was around the same time as like the 1987 what did I say it was called? March happened. They were trying to go back and be like, listen, we should be trying to get reparations for the people and the families that lived there. But because the land had been abandoned and sold and taken over by this law and all of that, they couldn't actually
it was only
figure
abandoned
out which
because they were
owns...
literally chased out.
I know, but because that had happened, they had no records of who actually had what to begin with. So they weren't really able to go to. So they didn't really like nothing came of that. I mean, you think that there would still be some sort of reparations for the fact that they were
could have
forcibly put out at all.
Right.
But, yeah.
I know. I know it gets complicated when you're going into that, but there must have been. I bet they just destroyed some records too.
Well,
conveniently
I mean,
they go missing.
Yes, probably records went missing after this lake happened and all of that too, right? Like it's probably really difficult to find the actual records. Yeah. So over the years that the Beaufort Dam was being constructed, the lands where they were planning on flooding was being prepared. So most of the areas were not that largely populated anymore. They were pretty much considered ghost towns by this time. But one thing they did have to do was relocate graves. Now, be aware, before 1860, this area was also full of Cherokee natives who were forcibly displaced from the area and most of northern Georgia. And there were still burial grounds that actually surround the lake right now, too, close to it. And the Cherokee that were originally in the north part of Georgia were rounded up and told to head west to Oklahoma. And this became known as the Trail of Tears, where more than 4,000 Cherokee people died.
Like white people. Like, what the fuck?
So apparently they did their due diligence, supposedly, to relocate the graves, but there were definitely some that were unmarked or even just probably not really that.
I'm sorry, like we've all seen Poltergeist, right? So we all know where this is going.
Yeah. You guys getting haunted.
Yeah. You guys,
and rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah. So that gets us more into the lake itself. So as you remember from last week, there have been approximately 700 deaths in this lake since 1956. And there have been many more injuries and even missing people on top of that, where I'm not sure if they would entirely be considered deaths because they never found the bodies, right? Like they know people went out swimming and they never came back. So they never found the bodies. So I don't know.
So they are classified as missing, but like
Yeah, exactly. So, a lot of the causes, as we spoke about last week, can be because of the popularity of the lake. There's an estimated 11.8 million visitors per year. But I did also note somewhere else when I was looking this all up that there are lakes nearby that have close to the same amount of visitors per year, but only about a third of the deaths. So, now
this is one lake I don't want to visit.
I know, and maybe Margaritaville isn't where we want to go.
There's other Margaritavilles we can go to.
We can go to the shore. I mean, there's much shore, so we can just go part of it. We can get a photo with a sign.
I'm sure. Can
maybe
we
can
seashells
dip a
by
toe.
The seashore?
Obviously,
shells that she sells.
I love to sell my shells.
Seashells, I'm sure.
But maybe we won't actually touch the water, just in case.
Well, we're going to get into the legends, so now you can see how you're going to feel after this. There have been many mysterious deaths. For instance, a man in 2024 died when suddenly his chair in the boat became unbolted and he went overboard, never to resurface again.
Like he just went out and didn't even try to come up?
I guess he must have still been strapped into the chair or something, and like it unbolted and went overboard, taking him with him, and he just never resurfaced.
Well, because the chair is heavy, and if he's strapped in and he's panicking, and
That's
so I'm
so
assuming
crazy.
it's one of those chairs for when you're fishing that
I
you're
think so, where
strapped
they
in.
really have to like
And you
put
think
you
you're
in. Although I
being
don't
safe
know.
by strapping yourself in.
Yeah, like I was wearing my seatbelt, and it's that one like 2% chance in a car crash where it actually hurt me instead. It was like one of those type thing. Yeah. Many people report feeling people reach out for them under the water and pulling them down. Strong, able-bodied swimmers have suddenly gone missing or wind up dead on the shore. In 2023, a man was killed after he was electrocuted jumping into the lake from his dock. So he survived at first, and he got out and went taken to the hospital. And he was like, I have been electrocuted before. Like, I was electrocuted. And he died later as like a result of the injuries that occurred.
What the fuck?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Christmas Day in 1964 is known as the deadliest day on Lake Lanier, when a driver lost control crossing a bridge and it flipped into the lake. 5 children and 2 adults died that day.
Oh, holy crap. Oh, Christmas Day. A whole
Yeah.
All the
family.
babies.
Yeah. And some say it could be the souls of, I think they said about 27 people's bodies who have never been found as well, reaching out and trying to bring you down into the lake.
Oh my God.
I'm getting like chills on chills on chills here.
Yeah.
So now we're
This
going to
should have been the Halloween
into...
episode. Oh my God.
Now we're going to get into the most reported. So the next photo I have there for you is just kind of like this artist rendition. It's very cool.
Wow. There's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I could definitely see this on your wall, Chantel.
Right?
Yeah.
It just really brings in the fact that there's a lot of things under there. I actually did watch some diving videos, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of full structures left down there, but there's definitely like crumbling structures under there. I read somewhere that they said that like they never really took down the trees though and everything too. Like, although one of the videos did show a tree that was sawed down. But anyways, that like these are all reasons that things could get caught on the boats. And
This art does make me feel, it feels like a little uncomfortable just looking at it. It's so busy and
right?
so much chaos. And
do you guys remember the movie In Dreams?
No, I didn't see that.
So it's one of those ones where it's kind of weird, kind of cool. It has Robert Downey Jr. in it. And a big element of the movie is that he's from a town that was flooded. And so there's like the psychic thing. And so she's seen parts of it, but there's like a church underwater. And I just keep seeing this one scene. And it's so freaking creepy. Anywho,
okay,
this is going to haunt me forever.
Because that sounds interesting.
In
the middle, like the woman, it's just so eerie. Like how she's like reaching out and like.
We're about to...
and her
talk about.
shoe.
So one of the things that is seen the most is the Lady of the Lake. So just 2 years after the completion of the Buford Dam and the filling of Lake Lanier, Delilah Mae Parker Young and Susie Roberts were going out for a night out with some of their friends in a nearby town, and in order to get there, they had to cross the Lake Lanier Bridge. The 2 women, however, never arrived and were reported as missing. So officials began searching for the lost girls, but they were unable to find any evidence of their car or the women.
Okay.
18 months later, a fisherman spotted a body in the water, and the scene was gruesome to say the least. The body was missing 2 toes and both hands. So you can see that girl is missing her hands there.
I wasn't going to comment on the hand. I thought it was a weird, because the
it was
artist
just weird
seems very
fingers.
talented.
And fingers are difficult sometimes.
But
even
like,
for the
I
best
thought-
As we
artists.
know from Lizard Man, fingers are difficult.
Feet, we just don't even worry about the feet. I thought that the artist was so good. I'm like, well, maybe hands are his one weak spot, because everything else is drawn to perfection.
It's totally
No, and
believable
see, that's the car behind there and everything.
Oh, wow.
So the body was never officially identified by any records, but locals stated that they were certain it was Delilah. And they were so certain because after the women went missing, there were dozens of reports of a ghostly, handless woman walking aimlessly down the highway in a blue dress. The same dress that Delilah had borrowed from a friend to wear the night that they went missing, and the same dress that was tattered on the body brought out of the water.
How come they couldn't identify?
Probably bloating and things like that. There's no hands for fingerprints.
They didn't
They just couldn't identify with absolute certainty.
I don't know. Were they doing dental records in 1956?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, they couldn't. So just, Megan, stop. It's a legend. Shut up. She has become known as the Lady of Lake Lanier, and legend has it that she snatches unsuspecting lakegoers and drags them to the bottom. perhaps is
With what?
nefarious, or perhaps she
With
is
what
trying
hands?
her elbows, okay? Or perhaps she's trying to bring them to her final
was a good
resting
point,
place.
Megan.
Like with what?
Maybe she has like ghostly hands, you know? There's like fake, you know how like you have
She's really good
like,
at
if
hugs.
yeah, she is. It's the really tight hugs. That's how. 34 more years passed before construction crews found a car at the bottom of Lake Lanier while replacing the old bridge, and Susie Roberts' bones were found still strapped into the car.
Cool.
To this day, the lady of the
Okay.
lake is still seen watering the back roads. And interestingly, some people say that they also have seen a lady in white dress combing her hair by the water, and they assume that this is Susie. Okay, let me get back into this. I'm just going to say
Okay.
the last sentence over again.
Yes.
because I don't know where it cut
Although
off.
you said it perfectly, and then it like
just
cut out, and I
cut.
was
Okay.
like,
I know.
and we
I
were like, so
that's
was it the
weird.
ghost of Lake Lanier?
don't
Did Chantel
know.
have his
'Cause-
plan?
Yeah, because I haven't had any warnings, but my
No,
Wi-Fi
nothing.
was
So
sometimes I did.
aggressive.
And like it should have been me shutting it down if that were the case, because I am
Right.
the one on Coast Files and in control. And
Yeah,
like-
that's weird.
right?
Well, we're being haunted again.
Classic.
I mean,
What else
we've
is
talked
new?
about how many spirits so far, like thousands
Yeah.
potential.
At least 1,000.
Okay. So I also found a couple of other things that I only could find in a couple of places. So these are
Totally true.
Yeah, totally true.
Totally true.
So I gave you guys
Totally.
another
Checks
photo
out.
there just because, you know, it's creepy. And obviously they
Oh my
had
God.
relocated graves, and restless spirits are often said to be here. So many of the graves were relocated, or most likely not relocated. And even moving a grave itself can probably just stir up the spirits, and then they flooded it on top of that. So I don't imagine that was like the best idea. So
It reminds me of the meme with the spiders, and it's like clean up spider webs, and the spider is like, wow.
Yeah.
And then you put up fake spider webs, and it's like,
wow.
wow.
Yeah, exactly.
So not only do you not move my grave or my body, but then you cover me in water
Yeah.
permanently.
yeah.
Like
no
There's
one's
this
gonna
guy
visit
that
me.
comes up on my Instagram every once in a while. He like cleans old
I
graves.
love
I love
watching that
one.
stuff,
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
There's one that I watch. Her name is Lady Tafos, and she always like does like a history. So she'll find a grave and she'll like talk about who that person was as she
Oh,
cleans.
cool.
And then the one that I
Okay.
think, Lindsay, correct me if I'm wrong, does your guy have like one of those like kind of ghost talker things, and he'll be
Yes,
talking
he
to
was
the
saying
ghost?
like that he would
I've-
hear spirits as he was
Yeah,
cleaning the grave.
So I've seen him too.
Yeah.
In general, it's like nice. Like they get permission
Yeah.
if the person has family, and they're very gently, thoroughly clean this grave so it looks like
Yeah.
new. Because so many
Yeah.
people like we talked about this after a few generations, you don't matter. Everyone you've ever known is
So,
dead.
see, you've taken
Yeah.
that away from these people. So I'd be surprised
like,
if there wasn't
big
any
time.
spirits here. So
I would
Visiting
be
graves is so
mad.
important for
Yeah.
loved ones.
Some.
Yeah.
So
you guys better
Just
visit
throw
my
me in the
grave if I go
garbage. I don't
first.
care.
just throw me in the garbage.
Just throw me in the garbage.
No.
But Lindsay, should you go first? I'll visit you. But for me, it's just like
We're gonna scatter your ashes at every Halloween pop-up we
Guys,
find.
yeah.
yes.
And if you guys go first, I'm gonna make you both into jewelry, and you're just with me all the time.
That's right, you
And
better
then
wear me.
I
Mug
will
till
be
death,
buried
and
with
then you
another
the
mug.
jewelry. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like death inception.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're all gonna be one by the end of it.
Yes. As was intended, as it was foretold.
I'll
Okay,
let my kids
sorry.
know. I need to be buried with Chantel and Megan.
Yeah.
We need to be jointly cremated. You just
Yeah.
mix them all up.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it's like,
thanks.
Mom, it's my wedding. Why are you telling me this now? It's like, I just feel like you need to know.
It's in Megan's wedding speech to her kids.
Right. And just put our favorite cocktail glasses in there too, because we're
Yeah.
gonna be drinking in the afterlife.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Bury
Yes,
me with my
perfect.
mug collection.
Yeah.
Yes, every mug. Thank you.
Okay, so there has been endless accounts of people stating that they felt being pulled by their legs deeper into the water, and people stating that they feel very drained of their energy even after a short swim in the lake, or sometimes just being around the lake in general is straining them. So could this be spirits looking for help, just wanting to be noticed so that they
Were
can
there
be
any
free?
toddlers nearby?
Well, I
Just
mean,
wanting for the energy
fair.
drainage.
Those are
It was like as a toddler, like are they causing the haunting? But you mean like a live
that's-
child?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why my energy is drained.
But then there's also
So
the
many
thought that this could
questions.
be just like, you know, it's a deep ish lake, and it has creepy,
It's only like 6 shacks. It's not that
that's
deep.
not that deep.
Yeah,
It's not that
that's
deep,
totally
guys.
swimmable.
Yeah. So, or could it just be that, there's all these tails around it, so people feel things, especially if there's trees touching you from below, or fish or anything
You
like
should
that.
be below the tree, not on top of the tree. That goes
This
against
is-
nature.
No,
Yeah.
my brain can't compute. The
No.
locals love to scream at the top of their lungs that these legends are untrue and that there is nothing nefarious about the lake itself, except for the fact that people get drunk and are on boats. But with
And also
so
that it's all
many,
true and there's a history that it did in fact happen.
Yeah.
So what do you mean, Sheila?
so with so many deaths there, though, and people who were apparently good at what they're doing or know what they're doing on boats, you do start to kind of wonder what else could be going on. And it was even said that there may have been an ancient native burial ground that was disturbed in the movements, and I'm pretty sure that's the worst
Bingo
of the
card.
worst that you can do. So not great.
That or opening like an old tomb,
Yeah.
like in a pyramid. That's
you
just
know,
it's
that's
like
when you
common
get like the
sense.
salt, like in
Yeah.
a mummy, and then you'll
God, again, the mummy, just so good. Anyway,
Now,
Right.
this next one I read maybe what's it called? Conflation of two separate things.
confliction.
Is it conflation when you
oh.
mix them together to make one? I can't remember.
Someone's yelling at
somebody
us.
tell
Trying
me
to
what
remember
word
the
I'm trying to think of. So, and I mean, these are separate, like, to the
Amalgamation?
point where I guess it is kind of an amalgamation.
yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
It's like separate to the point that one happened in Italy
Confluence?
and one
Oh.
is like Lanier. So,
Okay.
but I liked it anyway, so I'm going to tell you guys it. It is the
So
underwater
similar.
church bell of Van Pew. And apparently there was an area in the lake that was the town of Van Pew that was a ghost town at the time when it became submerged, and the church was submerged along with it. And it's said that you can still hear the bell ringing under the water, an ever haunting reminder of the town that was once booming. Yes. This
Nope.
next one comes from two fishermen in the early 2000s, which is the white raft apparition. And these two guys were out fishing late one night on the lake when they say that they saw a man with a hood standing on a white raft, and they made eye contact, and the man suddenly jumped in the water and started swimming aggressively towards them until he vanished beneath the water into the depths and did not come back up, which would be like so
No
terrifying.
thanks.
I would put my boat into full gear and just book it. That's for sure. But that's that one. And then we also have the haunted sunken houseboat, which apparently there were people living in a houseboat at the time of the flooding occurred in one of these areas. But it said that the house was not secured properly and it took on water and was trapped under the water like everything else. But the worst part is that a family was still in it when this happened.
Oh
And
my
apparently
gosh.
the spirits are trapped and restless if you come upon
Was
this
this
boat.
like they were in the houseboat on dry land thinking, hey, when this place floods, we're going to be okay?
That's where I also didn't really
Like Noah's
understand.
Ark type thing?
That's what I'm like.
I
Did
was
they try to
like-
like Noah's Ark it?
Yeah, I guess so. Or maybe they weren't supposed to be on the boat at the time when this happened. I don't know. There's also reports of supernatural swells and deadly whirlpools to happen during storms and
Stop
sometimes
saying
on
rogue waves. It's not always a
clear
rogue wave.
days
That
as
almost
well.
never happens.
These seem to happen and come out of nowhere. And once again, people feel like they are being grabbed at or pulled into the depths when they are in these.
Yeah, I feel like rogue wave in a lake, I'm less.
No, swells and
mind.
whirlpools. Swells and whirlpools.
Okay.
It's not.
What is
okay.
What is a swell if not a wannabe rogue wave in a lake?
I guess maybe
The
a swell
only time I've
isn't
ever
large enough to be
been
considered a wave.
almost taken, I went swimming. It was actually part of, I think, the Bay of Fundy. And I actually got briefly stuck in some of an undercurrent. And it was very scary for a moment. Luckily, I am a good swimmer.
Yeah.
Well, lifeguard.
Yes, and I knew kind of how to like swim. I swim diagonally towards shore.
I would
but
never.
it
I'd be like,
was-
well, this is
that was
it.
the
Like,
first and only time I've ever actually been taken by water, and it is like a scary feeling in the moment because
When
you're
when
like-
was this? How old were you?
I was like 20. That was a long
Damn.
time ago. Yeah,
But still, to be that young and like think, okay, I know how to do.
and I wasn't
would
very
be-
deep, so anyway,
Okay, well, this adds a
yeah.
little more credence to this myth. Then.
Well, I mean, those are what people
Yeah.
get caught up in all the time.
That was
and
the
they get
ocean, to be
taken
fair.
right out into the
Yeah.
ocean through them.
Yeah, the
That's why you're
riptide.
supposed to look for the riptides. And yes, that's exactly what you're taught to do: is swim with it. Don't swim against it. You're going to tire yourself out, and you're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Damn, that would be scary though. Thankfully, I haven't been caught in one before. No.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, that was
Knock on wood.
my first and only time that I've experienced being like, oh my God, the water is in control right now.
Fuck, that's
Yeah.
so scary.
Yeah.
So I just quickly looked it up. A wave is caused by local wind, while a swell is a wave that has traveled a long distance from its source in a distant storm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
Swells are
But
longer,
still-
smoother, and more organized with a longer period of time than
They have a
choppy
union.
local winds. Yeah, they have a union.
Mm.
So that's really all of the supernatural reports that I have.
That's
I
enough.
did
That's more than enough.
I think it was
We're
in the
good.
American Horror Story where I saw that there was like, they said that there were people that were like tying people to buildings with chains, knowing that the flood was coming to kill them.
That's fucked. So
Yeah.
this is just from the episode. This is not real.
I hope so. Maybe it's got some sort of background. I don't know. Why wouldn't that be a thing? You know?
Right.
I don't know if
Christ.
I'd want to go in the lake. I don't know. Something feels wrong about it, but something feels interesting about it at the same time. Just knowing that it's like ghost towns that were underneath you. I tried to look at Reddit to find some stories, but there was nothing that I could really find that was like creepy. It was just like, yeah, I felt things grabbing at me, or like I felt really drained, or like things felt weird there, but
Totally
nothing that was,
normal.
like,
Yeah.
and then of course, like I said, the locals were like, "Fuck you, no, it's not. You're lying." But I did see something that was kind of cool though. Apparently there was a big drought in like 2008, and it actually caused an old raceway to come up and appear. So there used to
I've
be like
heard
a
of this.
Gainesville or
Okay.
something
I've
like
heard of
that. There was a
this.
raceway that was there, and they saw like the stadium
could see
seating actually come
bleachers.
out. Yeah. So that was
That's
kinda
not
cool.
okay. That's weird. That's
It's
not
weird, but it was like it was a abandoned or ghost town by that point. I mean, I don't know about I didn't get into all of the other towns and how they may or may not have been abandoned or forcibly abandoned.
Who was that awesome person
Right.
that wrote in and she had remember we read one of her stories?
Yeah, Lake Minnewanka. I'm gonna do it. It's on my list
Yes.
too
Okay.
for
Okay.
So it was
some of
like
the same
this
reasons.
is far
I
from
knew
the
one of you
only...
was going to cover it.
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
been
one
on
of
my
you
list
sent-
for a long time
Okay.
actually. But yeah, I needed to get into that one. As I was doing this one, I was like, man, if it's not long enough, I'll cover that one too. And then I was like, no,
There's
this is
enough.
long enough.
Good.
Yeah.
There's enough
And then-
trauma
Yeah.
here.
And then your other homework is to watch In Dreams. It's not great, but it's good enough. But
Yes.
the scenes with the town being flooded with water is just such a... I don't know. I mean, it's not natural. I think that's the reason why we're obsessed with Titanic, because I thought of all this glamour and like your apartment and your everything being underwater. That's not normal, and so
Yeah.
it's such a shocking sight that it just sticks with you.
Right.
Especially in the Titanic,
Okay.
where you see some of these pictures on the inside, and it's like everything's just still like in its place. And I imagine
the bottom
probably
of
in the
the ocean.
beginning, like before things started degrading so much, it was probably would have been the same there. Like some of these things
It
just
would
would have
be.
been like in
Right.
place.
Yeah, paintings and paint on the wall and bedding. I mean, made of like, but like
Depending
imagine
on
if
how
you
much
like
people actually took before they had
Sure.
to leave the certain areas.
But if there was a room that had like a nicely like tucked in bed, and then all of a sudden now it's on the bottom of the ocean, that's not
yeah.
that my brain. No, bad,
Yeah.
bad,
I,
bad,
I
bad.
think most people weren't thinking about taking things.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
most
sure. I'm
people-
sure some folks are like, oh, make sure you
Oh,
grab all
not
the
an
good
Oscar
china.
Oh,
bill.
the first,
Not
first,
not
okay.
not
Oh,
in
no,
that
no.
one for sure.
Okay, no.
They were just like grab what you can and leave so we don't die.
Yeah.
But I feel like
yeah,
for your town, Chantel, there must have been like plenty of notice because a lot of the town area had been kind of like vacated and
There would have been
I don't
some
know,
town like I said, it covered a lot of counties and a lot of different small towns. So there definitely would have been towns who were like, you know what, the government's bought this up, like you guys have to leave and relocate now, probably because they weren't making enough money there, or
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like Atlanta, they needed the water for the growing population that was happening, and there wasn't enough water for them, so they had to do something to make and dam it up, and so that the Chattahoochee River would stop flooding as well, which was probably damaging a lot of properties. So I understand why they did it. The history of Oscarville was before this happened, but I mean, one of the reasons why it did become a ghost town was because of how they were forcibly pushed out of that area. So who's to
Just
say
like
that
one
wouldn't
more
have been a
kick
nice
while they're down,
prosperous
you know?
area
Yeah.
still to this day if
yeah.
you know.
It reminds me of Africville in Nova
Yeah.
Scotia, where they wanted that land for the bridge.
Yeah.
Like, we need a bridge.
Yeah.
Which is
this
fair,
is
but
where
like
we
this is
want
where we're
it.
but
going.
you already
Um,
forced every single person of color to go to this one area. Like you took them and you
Right.
pushed them there. Think, oh,
And
by the
it's
way, we
and
need
part
the
of it's
land
just not
actually.
giving them the right price for their land.
mhm.
That was very valuable land, obviously.
Again,
And
just like,
Well, that's like some people that were
my
even
God.
able to sell the land in Oscarville. They were like, we had to sell it at a loss, basically, because it was the only thing
Mhm.
we were able to get, and then we had to go to somewhere else. And yeah. Anyways, it was depressing
Thanks
and
for bumming us
creepy,
out, as
but
always.
Belugas,
yeah, good.
maybe we'll have somewhere to go. Maybe.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Some good news.
Lindsay is going to bring us up a little bit next
Well,
week.
as far as I know, no one's dying.
Okay.
And it's gonna be more
Perfect.
entertaining.
Okay.
That's
Great.
already a plus.
Yeah.
Next week.
Perfect.
Yes. So stay tuned.
Yes. Stay tuned.
But this
Join
was
us
really well
next week.
researched, Chantel. So
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a good one.
You know what?
I know-
we gotta know the history sometimes.
I know that there's
We'll
already
see.
a fantastic person that has the spooky lake market cornered, but you could do drowned towns. Start
Yeah.
your own little segment.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, drowned
that's
towns.
probably no. Yeah.
A real, upbeat,
Upbeat.
kind
Yeah.
of punchy story.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure something out here. Anyways,
Yeah.
let's go.
I guess that's it.
Okay. Well,
Bye.
thank you, everyone. We love you.
Thanks.
Please come back next week.
Yes.
if you
Come back,
dare.
please. Well, it's not that spooky next week, but do come back.
Guys,
Please.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening today. We loved having you. If you liked the episode, share with your friends, family, or anyone who would enjoy it. Also, take a moment to review our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Leaving us a like or comment really helps. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, please visit our coffee page at www.ko-fi.com/coastfiles. Email us at coastfilespod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at coastfilespod, or visit our website at www.coastfiles.com. You can find the sources for today's episode on our website. See you next week with a new episode.